What is up guys, Ali here for yet another Today in Retro video. We are back. So today we're going to be talking about a really bizarre and obscure peripheral designed for the N64 that was specifically used for only one Japan-only N64 game. So let's just get into it. So first let's start with the game in question, which is Tetris 64, which sounds like a really weird choice once you find out what this peripheral is used for. So obviously we all know what Tetris is, I'm not gonna go into depth on that. Weirdly enough, Tetris 64 was a Japan exclusive title, even though the whole game is in English. It was released on November 13th, 1998, and it was first shown in Nintendo Space World in 1997. This makes me wonder if they first wanted to test out the game and its peripheral in Japan first in a smaller market, and then eventually release it worldwide, but I guess we'll never really know. So Tetris 64 includes 3 game modes, including Tetris, which is just your normal Tetris, Giga Tetris, which is normal Tetris, but they have oversized pieces that break into smaller pieces, and then Bio Tetris, which is normal Tetris using the Bio Sensor. And this mode has 2 different settings within it. It has a normal mode, which makes the pieces drop slower, so this is good if you get really excited or too nervous sometimes. And then reverse, which speeds up the pace of the game as your heart accelerates. So yeah, basically the game speeds up or slows down with the pieces, depending on your heart rate, which is kind of freaky. In IGN's review of the game, they mention, even though the feature sounds really cool and exciting, it really isn't that great. The biosensor is just basically a gimmick and doesn't really add to the gameplay experience, which sounds like classic Nintendo to me. So the biosensor was produced by a company called SETA, aka Super Entertainment and Total Amusement, and they were founded on October 1st, 1985, and then dissolved on February 9th, 2009. They published games for the NES, Game Boy, SNES, N64, and GameCube, as well as creating development tools for various Nintendo consoles. They published games in North America, but primarily focused on Japan, specifically golf and puzzle titles, and they actually ended up leaving the gaming industry in 2004 after releasing the game Legend of Golfer on the Nintendo GameCube. This is a little unrelated, but a bit related. They were actually responsible for the Alex 64, which was arcade hardware, released by SETA and co-developed with Nintendo in 1998. It was based on the N64 hardware, and it actually uses cartridges to load games. It's basically, from my understanding, an arcade version of an N64. It was sold from 1998 to 2003 exclusively in Japan, and it never really caught on and ended up getting discontinued. Nintendo and SETA actually began working together in 1996 on the project, and they really wanted to emulate the business model that Namco and Sony had with the Namco System 11, which is basically an arcade board based on the PlayStation. Personally, I find all of this really fascinating because I've been reading about and kind of researching more about arcade history and preservation since I don't know as much about it as in comparison to video game stuff that I know way too much about. So even though I'm not an expert on this subject like I am with retro games, I think it'd be really cool to make a video about that. So if you guys want to see more about this subject, let me know. Anyway, back on topic. So the biosensor, again, obviously it was only available in Japan, and you could buy it on its own or as a pack-in with Tetris 64. The biosensor basically looks like an N64 controller pack. It has a wire coming out of the top, and it has a little clip on the end. So one end plugs into the extension port of your controller, and then the other part is supposed to clip onto your ear. It sounds kind of gross if you're going to be sharing the game with someone, in my opinion. I don't know why. When I first heard about this, I assumed you clipped it onto your finger like you normally would, but I guess if you're using a controller and playing the game, it would just get in the way. I assume it would still work the same if you use it on your finger. Also, now thinking about this, wouldn't that get painful eventually, just having this little clip on your ear? I don't know. I don't own the game, so I can't speak for that. I really do want to get a copy of it to try it. But yeah, anyway, so the device measures your heart rate as you're playing the game. And then in terms of reviews and reception, the game actually got an 8.4 out of 10 from IGN, and it got a lot of praise for its multiplayer mode. They recommended, to import the title because the whole game is in English, obviously, but it did get a lot of criticism for its graphics and repetitive music. Overall, I really do want to try this game for myself just because it sounds really out there. And if you guys didn't notice already by now, I'm really into weird retro gimmicky peripherals, so I'm 100% here for this. And combine that with Tetris, I'm even more sold because if you've watched my stream, I have an addiction to Tetris 99. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It was a little bit of an odd one, but make sure to follow me on all my other social media and let me know in the comments what other topics you want to see. See you later.